is equal to 1, and therefore it is minus dA by dt is equal to K into A. Now on this side it is concentration term, this is time term, again this is concentration term, and therefore we have to rearrange this equation in such a way that the concentration terms remains on one side, time term remains on other side, and therefore on rearrangement the same equation can be rewritten as minus dA by A is equal to K into dt. Now if we say the concentration of A is C, let the concentration are expressed by C, and therefore the same equation can be rewritten as minus dC by C is equal to K into dt. In this equation concentration terms on one side, time terms on other side. Now we can integrate this equation between limit of concentration as well as limit of time. Now what should be the limit of concentration as well as time? We know that when reaction commences, reaction proceeds, there is 100% concentration of reactant, and therefore we can say that when time t is equal to 0, the concentration of reactant is 100%. Let it is the initial concentration of reactant, say it is C0, and after certain time, that means when t is equal to t, let the concentration of reactants is decreasing from C0 to C. So we can integrate this equation between the limit of concentration that is ranging from C0 to C, that is initial to certain, from n as well as time ranging from 0 to t. Therefore minus dC by C from C0 to C is equal to K into dt from 0 to t. Now 1 by C dC, integration of 1 by C dC is ln C. So minus ln C C0 to C. Here K is constant, we can take outside the integral, so in integration it will be dt, and integration of dt is t, and therefore it is K into integration of dt is t ranging from 0 to t. So when we put this limit, then it will be minus ln C minus plus ln C0 is equal to K t into 0, that is 0, and therefore one can have ln C0 minus ln C is equal to Kt. Therefore it is ln C0 by C is equal to K into T. Now this equation indicates that this is the relation between concentration of reactant and time, and therefore one can say that it is the integrated rate law for first order reaction. So if any reaction that follow the first order must having the integrated rate law like this, that is ln C0 by C is equal to Kt. Now what are the characteristics of any first order reaction? Because for first order reaction there is certain characteristic. If reaction is second order, it is having certain characteristics. Now what are the characteristics of any first order reaction? See, if we look at the integrated rate law for first order reaction, and if we rearrange this equation like this, ln C is equal to ln C0 minus Kt. Means if we rearrange this equation like this, and if we compare this equation with the straight line equation, that is y is equal to mx plus c. See, we know that in actual experiment of chemical kinetics. We are starting with the certain concentration of reactant, and then we are measuring the change in concentration of one reactant or two reactants with respect to time, and therefore we are measuring the concentration as well as a function of time, and therefore we can take ln C of that as well as we can have T of time as well as T. So we can plot the graph of ln C against T, and if we compare this equation with straight line equation, that is y is equal to mx plus c, then this must be a straight line graph. Here slope is negative, so graph will be straight line, but it will be having negative slope. From the value of slope, we can have K. So one can determine the rate constant of reaction from its slope. Similarly, from the intercept, because here intercept is C and it is equal to ln C0. Yes, this intercept will give us the value of ln C0, and if we take antilog of intercept, it will give us C0. So in short, the first characteristic of any first order reaction is that if we plot the graph of ln C as a function of time, it will be straight line graph. From the value of slope, we can determine the rate constant of reaction, and from the intercept we can determine the initial concentration of reactants. The second characteristic of any first order reaction is that the initial the half-life, that is T half, of any first order reaction is independent of initial concentration of reactants. This is again the most important characteristic of any first order reaction. If you determine the half-life of first order reaction, you will observe that the half-life of that reaction, if it is first order, it will independent of its initial concentration. Now let us derive the integrated rate law for second order reaction. Let's consider that the reaction in which A to give products is second order. That means here N is equal to 2. Now again the differential rate law for the given reaction can be written as minus dA by dt is equal to certain constant, that is K, into concentration of reactant raised to some power. Here N is equal to 2 because we have considered reaction is second order, and therefore it is minus dA by dt is equal to K A square. On rearrangement of this equation, we can write minus dA by A square is equal to K into dt. Let's consider that the concentration is C, and therefore we can rewrite this expression as minus dC by C square is equal to K into dt. Now we can integrate this equation between the appropriate limit of concentration ranging from C0 to C and time ranging from 0 to t. And therefore we have minus dc by c square from C0 to C is equal to k dt from 0 to t. Now integration of 1 by c square dc, that is 1 by x square dx, it is equal to 1 by x. So 1 by c square dc integration will be 1 by x, 1 by c from C0 to C is equal to k, integration of dt is t, zero to t. So when we put the limit, it will be minus 1 by c minus minus plus 1 by c0, integration of 1 by c square dc will be minus 1 by c. So this minus minus will become plus, and therefore when we put the limit, it will be 1 by c minus 1 by c0 is equal to k into t. Now if you look this equation, on one side it is concentration, on the other side it is time. That means this relation correlates two things, the concentration of reactant and time of reaction, and therefore it is called integrated rate law for second order reaction. Now what should be the characteristic? What are the characteristics of any second order reaction? See, if we rearrange this equation like this, 1 by c is equal to 1 by c0 plus qt, and if we compare this equation with straight line equation, that is y is equal to mx plus c, so it means that if we plot the graph of 1 by c against t, then it will be straight line graph having positive slope. So the graph will be like this. From the value of slope, here slope is m, that means k. So from the slope we can determine the rate constant of reaction, and the intercept, here c is intercept, that is intercept is equal to 1 by c0. So intercept is 1 by c0, and therefore we can have c0, the initial concentration of reactant, is equal to 1 by intercept. So the first characteristic of any second order reaction is that if we plot the graph of 1 by c as a function of time, it will be straight line graph having positive slope. From the value of slope we can determine the rate constant of reaction, and from the intercept we can have the initial concentration of reactant. The second characteristic of any second order reaction in terms of half-life time is that the half-life time of reaction, or the half-life time for any second order reaction, is inversely proportional to the concentration of reactant. See, in first order reaction, if reaction is first order, we said that the half-life of reaction is independent of initial concentration of reactant, that is C0. Whereas in any second order reaction, the half-life of reaction is inversely proportional to initial concentration of reactants. This is the difference between first order and second order reaction. On one side, first order independent of initial concentration of reactant. On other side, the half-life of any second order reaction depends on the initial concentration of reactant. Okay. So these are regarding the integrated rate law for first order and second order reaction. The next topic is the experimental determination of order of reaction, because we said that the order of reaction, the rate of reaction, as well as the rate constant of reaction can be determined experimentally in chemical kinetics. So we should know how one can determine the order of reaction. See, there are certain methods by which we can determine the order of reaction. The first method is the method based on integrated rate law. The second method is method based on differential rate law. Third is method based on half-life, and fourth is isolation method. So among these four methods, one can adopt any one method to determine the order of reaction. The most reliable method to determine the order of reaction is method based on integrated rate law. Now, how one can determine the order of reaction? For example, if we are having reaction A